Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Lesleyanne here. Lovely to see you all again. As you can see, it's glorious here in the UK. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and we're outside having coffee. This is my little cover. So I've got this from Temu if you're interested. Not the cup, that's an Emma Bridgewater cup. But these, I got these from Temu last year. Just these little silicone lids, and they keep sort of like insects and dust, etc. out of your drinks. So always handy to pull out in the summer. I thought I would do my Q&A. So recently I just went onto the community post just to say, is there anything you want to know about me? And I got some really good responses. So I'm going to go in with the very first question. Right, the first question is, have you always lived in Portsmouth? No is the quick answer to that. As a child, I grew up in Bishopstoke, which is sort of just a part of Eastleigh in Hampshire. I was born in Southampton. I lived in Bishopstoke until I was about 14, and then we moved to Eastleigh. And from there, I sort of went to school in Bishopstoke, infant school, junior school. Then, moved to Eastleigh, went to senior school there, went to college there. When I left at 16, I moved to Winchester for a while. Sometime later, when I got married, I moved to Hythe in Hampshire. And we lived in that house for sort of a few years, and then we bought an off-plan house in Lymington. So we lived in Lymington for a while, which is in the New Forest. Crikey. And then from then, this is over many years. Moved from Lymington back to Hythe in Hampshire, from Hythe to Totton in Southampton, then from Totton in Southampton to Portsmouth, and we lived in a house in Portsmouth for about 3 or 4 years, I think. Absolutely loved the house. It was a really old Victorian house, huge high ceilings, all original features. It was a beautiful house, but it's a major city and parking was horrendous. And like, if you weren't back at your house by sort of 6 o'clock in the evening or before, sometimes there's no way you get to park outside of your house, and so you'd sometimes be like streets away. And then as you're getting older, I mean, I just found it was just, we weren't happy to do it anymore, basically. And of course, it was about the time that I started to do my dog boarding business as well, and it was like difficult for people to park up to bring their dogs in, and also the children were having children, so we were having grandchildren, and that was difficult, sort of, having to then being parked streets away from the house sometimes, not always, but sometimes, in fact most of the time. And so now we currently live in Gosport, and so we've lived here in this house for about 12 years now, and we absolutely love it. We moved, we didn't have anywhere in mind to move to, really. We just wanted somewhere where it was a sort of a lot quieter, and we had a driveway and a garage, etc. And it just led us here to this house, and we saw it and we loved it, and the price was brilliant. And the house we bought in Portsmouth, we were fortunate enough to be able to buy that one outright, and so of course when we bought this one, we managed to buy this one outright as well. And so yeah, we love it here, and I don't know if I would move away from here because I've got everything I want on the doorstep. I've got just literally round the corner, over the back of the trees there, is like an alleyway where people can access their garages. And then behind that, there's all the shops. Wow, there's a co-op, there's a baker's, there's a hairdresser's, there's a Chinese, there's a carpet shop, there's a barber's, there's another lady's hairdresser's, like a couple of corner shops, kebab shop. There's everything you need just literally around the road, and the same that way. I've got the library, so you can go in there for all sorts of things. They have coffee mornings, they have talks, they have all sorts of things going on in there. So it's kind of great, and if ever there's time I can't drive anymore, there is like a bus route just around the corner. So everything's kind of here, and where we are, within literally 5 minutes in any direction from our house is the ocean. So we're on, on the south coast, and we've got the beach all around us. So it's amazing. So we're very happy here. But yeah, that time of being born in Southampton, which was now nearly 68 years ago, until now, has spanned all those moves, has taken 68 years to do all of this. I hope that's answered your question, Georgina. Anne-Marie, I'm just looking at my little list because I wrote everything down. Anne-Marie has said, I wonder if you have any more house or garden renovations planned. My goodness, yes, is the answer to that one. I think there's always something that you can improve on, or that you want to do, or to change, or just because literally wear and tear on the house. I mean, this house is the 1930s, so it's coming up for like 100 years old, and I love it, but every now and then I kind of see little things and think, oh, I think I'd like to do this, and I think I'd like to do that. But then you also get to that age where you think, not is it worth it, because I don't mean that, is it worth it? But one of the things we were thinking of was to get rid of the garage, because we don't use it for the car. It's literally just full of stuff. Stuff is kept in there. And sometimes we talk about kind of splitting it in half and making one side for the storage and for Chris's tools, and the other bit for me. Maybe it's like a little filming room, it's a crafting room, because I've got loads of crafting stuff, and you know what it's like if you haven't got anywhere really to put your crafting stuff. You have to get it out and then you put it all away again, and that sometimes stops me from actually doing my crafting. So we've been thinking about that. Then we thought about maybe just having the whole thing taken down and buy one of those really nice like log cabiny things to put up there, but they are a lot of money, so we'd have to wait until we got the money, definitely, for that. Changing the patio down that part of the garden, I'd like to change that, but they're kind of simple things, so they can be done at any time, really. They're not things that we really need to sort of save up for. We do need new fencing on this side of the house, from the sort of side return bit where the gate is to get access into the garden, all the way along this side. That all needs renewing, so that is probably the next job, to be honest, because where we are situated, the wind in the winter, oh my gosh, it's just like a tunnel for the wind where we are, and it comes down the side of the house, and it's so windy, and we lost a couple of panels like this winter. We've managed to sort of like bodge them for now, but yeah, that is probably the next job to do, will be to replace these fence panels, because they need to be done. Always decorating, there's always decorating, isn't there, to do. We renewed our kitchen about 9 years ago, I suppose, something like that, and it's absolutely fine, but I have thought about changing it again, using the same cupboards but rearranging it. I don't know, I was thinking about maybe turning the dining area more into the kitchen area, and the dining table where the kitchen is. But they're just sort of thoughts, and they're not necessary things, really. The only thing that lets this house down is the downstairs toilet, and it didn't bother us at all when we moved in here. And you know, as you get older and you have more ailments and things wrong with you, sometimes, well, as you know, if you've been with me for a long time, you know that I've had quite a lot of health issues and still have them, and going upstairs can be a pain in the backside. I know there's always a stair lift. I don't really want one, and I don't need one yet, but sort of planning forward a downstairs toilet, but it would be a lot of hard work because we've had people out to look. We've got an understairs that we could turn into a very small downstairs cloakroom, but that would be absolutely fine. But it's the pipe work. It would all have to kind of run underneath the kitchen floor. All of that would have to come up. I don't know. Then we thought about maybe having a little extension on the side of the house. But again, all the pipe work would have to all come sort of over this way because, well, I don't know, apparently all the pipe work's this way. I don't know, I'm not a builder, but yeah, I don't know. It is something that I think if ever we did anything else structural in the house, that would be it. So yeah, that's the plans, Anne-Marie, for going forward. Amanda Taylor. So Amanda, you've asked me, how long have you and Chris been married? What did we both do for work before retirement? Chris and I got married in 2007. Yeah, we got married on the 1st of December 2007. We had a fabulous wedding. It was quite an extravagant wedding, purely and simply because it was not just for us. I had like the big wedding before. Chris hadn't, and he wanted to kind of enjoy all of that. It was a beautiful, beautiful day, but it was also of like really having the memories of both of our families coming together, like my children, Chris's children, any grandchildren that we had at the time, you know, the ones that were born. You know, it was about just bringing everything together. It was lovely. If you want to know more about, you know, the wedding day, I can do a separate video on that because it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. It was extravagant. Would I spend that money on it again? I'm not sure, because at the end of the day, you get the same result at the end, don't you? But it was about that special experience, and it was special. So yeah, we got married in 2007, but we've been together for 20 years. Yeah, 20 years together. What did we do before we did retirement? Well, many years ago, the reason that I moved to Winchester was because I became a nurse and I did my training at Winchester Hospital. And then, like, you know, as you do, you have your children, all the rest of it. I did carry on working in between children, but mainly sort of in the evenings, or I did some night duties, drifted in and out of that. And then after that, I went into social work for a while, and that is very, very wearing on you, especially the area that I was working in. And it was something that could very easily give up, and I did after a while. It was just so stressful, and I wanted a complete change of direction. So I went to work for John Lewis, the department store, but it wasn't on the shop floor. I was working in the offices, doing lots of like the special orders, and my departments were, oh crikey again, am I going to get this right? Nursery, bathroom, haberdashery department, China department. I can't remember. quite a lot of them anyway, quite a lot of departments. And yeah, it was completely different, sort of working in an office with lots of people, but it was great. I really did enjoy it. Then we were actually made redundant. John Lewis were kind of having central offices to sort of deal with everything sort of like centrally, so a lot of the offices that did all that kind of work went. Yes, so we were made redundant, and we knew it was coming. We had sort of like 2 years notice. And then I sort of said to Chris, like, because I've always wanted to look after dogs. I've had dogs my whole life. I've never ever not had a dog. And I said to Chris, you know, it'd be really nice to board dogs, you know, for holidays, because I would be happy with somebody, I was their person looking after their dog, because they would just be completely spoiled. And he said that's a really good idea. So I spent sort of like maybe a year looking into it, phoning the tax office to see what I needed to do to set up the business. I went to a couple of I did a couple of courses on sort of starting up being self-employed, what you needed to do, this, that and the other. So when the time was right, I advertised, and I advertised literally for 1 year only, and I didn't need to advertise anymore, because it literally became word of mouth. And so I have now been doing the dog boarding for 14, 15 years now, and I get as much enjoyment and pleasure now as I did right in the beginning, and I absolutely love it. So although I am now officially kind of retired, I still do the dog boarding, but it is kind of like very much part-time, because it's not every day of the year, you know. It's very kind of seasonal really, with the exception of the odd weeks here and there. But yeah, I'm still registered as being self-employed and do my tax return and all the rest of it. Chris, now Chris worked for an investment bank in London, in the city of London, before retirement. And so every single day he would be commuting on the train up to London, paying thousands and thousands of pounds for a season ticket on the train, which incidentally never guaranteed you a seat. So sometimes he'd be stood all the way there and all the way back. And so yeah, anyway, he's retired now. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question, Amanda. Thank you so much for asking. Sorry about the dogs barking. My daughter popped round with my little granddaughter. So we've had a bit of lunch, and then I'm just going to crack on again with some more Q&As. And I have actually popped a line of washing out, as you can see. I'll slightly move position as well, because it's kind of really sunny. Okay, so the next one is from Joyce. And Joyce has asked, how long have you been married? How many kids and grandkids do we have? So we got married in 2007. We have 8 children between us. So Chris has 2 daughters. I have 6 children. So that's 8 between us. Funnily enough, Chris had a daughter and I had a son born in the same year. And then Chris had another daughter and I had a daughter born in the same year. So they're like same ages. And then I had a son, twin boys and a girl. So say 6 for me, 2 for Chris. And between us we have 10 grandchildren. The age difference between the grandkids, I think Harry's 20, coming up 22 now, and the youngest one has just turned 2. So, and everything in between. Emily, you've asked, do you have any regrets in life, and would you change any past events? Cool, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't really sort of dwell on things that I may have regretted. Many of us do things that once we've done them, we've kind of learned from them and think, would I do that differently? Yes, I probably would, or I would have done this different or that different. So with regards to regrets, not really. I don't think I have any where I think, oh, I really wish I had done that. Other than I wished when I was younger and in really good health that I had gone skiing. I wouldn't be able to do it now at all, for lots of reasons. I'd end up with everything broken, trust me, I would. I've always thought, I wish I'd gone skiing, and I often say to the kids, you know, like, if skiing is something that appeals to you, try and do it like as you're younger, because otherwise you'll get to the age where you might think, oh, I wish I'd done that. But that's not a regret, it's I wish I had done it. Would I change anything? No. I don't think I would. No, not at all. I mean, the people who we are today, we're only who we are today because of our past, aren't we? You know, so things that we've learned, things that we've encountered, the good and the bad and the ugly, if you like. You are what you're made of, aren't you? So I don't know, I don't have any regrets, and I don't think there's anything I would change. I mean, obviously little things like, yeah, I wish I didn't have these illnesses that I've got. I wish I could walk further unaided. I wish I could, you know, there's lots of things that we say, oh, I wish we had a bit more money. I wish we, you know, and so on. They're not critical, nothing critical. So no, I don't. Hello, Freddie. Hello. Oh, this is Freddie's on his hollybox. He's going home today, aren't you? Yeah. So, Emily, I hope that answers your question. What about you? Let me know in the comments. Is there anything that you would change? Joe has asked, if you had to leave your home immediately and permanently, excluding family and pets, what 3 things would you take with you? Whoa. Wow. Obviously, the first things, like you've already said, would be your family and your pets. It kind of depends how much, as in immediately. If it was something where I had like 10 minutes to get out of the house, I think the things that I would grab would be medication and folders with all the admin stuff for the house, you know, like insurance policies, blah blah blah, those sort of folders, so that you've got all of that. And as I say, medication. If it was something where, I don't know, just say, for example, if it was something awful like a fire or something, then no, just get the hell out of the house and forget everything else. Just get out, obviously making sure your family and your pets were okay, of course. That's without, you know, without being said. No, just get out. And this is going to be my last one. This is from Amanda. How long have you and Chris been together? So we've been together now for 20 years. We met whilst we were on holiday. I was on holiday with 2 of my friends in Portugal, and Chris was on holiday with his brother and his friend. Let's say in Portugal, we were in Albufeira, and we just met. Myself and my friends, Chris and his brother and friend, we were at like a cabaret night thing, you know, where there's always a singer and music and dancing, that sort of thing. And Chris and his brother and friend, they'd been sort of to the drinking, but not the same place as us. And then that bar closed, and so, but it was within that hotel. And so the girl behind the bar sort of said, why don't you just go into that bar there, because that's still open. And that was kind of it. And then I kind of like saw the door open, and I looked over, and Chris was coming in, and they had their pints in their hand from the other bar. And we both somehow just sort of smiled at each other. And then, like, you know, they sort of were a bit happy, I suppose. And sort of came dancing over and sort of joined us because we were dancing by then. And then we just all sort of sat and chatted. And afterwards we bought a bottle of wine, all of us, and we sat outside of where the bar is, where there's more tables and chairs, and we just sat there and chatted and said where we were from, etc, etc, etc. And that was kind of like the start of, it was the start of the holiday. That was on the Sunday, I think, so we'd only been there a day. And because we were all on the same resort, we kept like bumping into each other and having little chats, and so it kind of started from there. And as I say, that is now 20 years ago. Yeah, I can't believe how quickly it's gone. Anyway, my lovelies, I'm going to leave it there. I may do another one a bit sort of later on down the line, so that you can get to know me a little bit better. If you've got any questions, then do let me know, and I will save them up and come back with another Q&A. You know me a little bit better now, don't you? I hope I haven't been squinting too badly. It's so bright. The sky is beautiful. It's like 25 degrees and we're in April. It's incredible, isn't it? I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much once again for the time and the energy and the questions that you've given me. Wherever you are in the world, look after yourself. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye for now then, my loves. Bye-bye. Bye.